be honest with me here. Are you just completely tired of losing your context every single time you switch AI platforms? I mean, we've all been there, right? It's that universally frustrating experience of tool fatigue. You find this incredibly shiny new AI agent, you make the jump, and boom, suddenly all those painstakingly built workflows, your preferences, your entire history, it's all just gone. You literally have to start from scratch.
Well, in this explainer, we are diving into source material that outlines a truly fascinating solution to that exact headache. It's called Higgsfield Supercomputer. And look, based on the research, this isn't just some minor incremental update. We're talking about a paradigm shift. It acts as an all-in-one supercomputer that can handle product development, research, and end-to-end marketing, completely autonomously.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, the fragmented AI problem. Second, multimodal research versus manual. Third, automating custom workflow skills. Fourth, orchestrating models. And finally, the all-in-one department.
Okay, Section 1, the fragmented AI problem, or what I like to call escaping tool migration hell. You know the drill. The reality of building an AI-assisted workflow today basically means bouncing between a dozen different platforms. Migration is just an absolute mess. You're constantly doing these clunky manual exports, you're dealing with fragmented configurations, and you're juggling half your context in one window while trying to manually rebuild the other half in a new one. By the time you're finally onboarded, your hard-earned workflow from the old tool is completely lost in the void. It is wildly inefficient.
So how does Supercomputer solve this? It fixes it instantly by using MCP. That's an open standard that basically lets agents talk to each other. It's literally a two-click migration process. But here's the real game changer. It doesn't just pull over your chat history. It actually imports your old skills from any past agent. So whether you spent months training Claude, DPT, or Hermes, all of those custom behaviors and playbooks land right inside Supercomputer. Your migration is done in seconds, and you don't lose a single drop of context.
Moving right along to Section 2, multimodal research versus manual, the brain of the supercomputer.
This is where the marketing efficiency gains just get staggering. Think about how we traditionally do marketing research. It's a human, endlessly doom-scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, trying to subjectively guess what might be trending, and painfully taking slow manual notes. Supercomputer completely flips that script with native multimodal understanding. It doesn't just read text, it analyzes images and videos directly. It looks at the actual visual frames. It reads the specific hooks, tracks the pacing, and spots tension curves across parallel streams of content instantly. It knows exactly what makes a clip pop and flags those patterns for you, giving you hard data-backed research in a fraction of a second.
All right, Section 3, automating custom workflow skills, which is really the muscle of production here.
To really grasp this, we need to talk about what Higgsfield calls skills. See, language models by themselves, they don't actually know how to produce nonstop high-end creative work. They just kind of guess at it. But skills? Skills are the muscle that guarantees production-grade output. They are basically these production-tested workflows that ship right inside the product. Think of them as an internal playbook that tells the AI precisely how to execute complex, multi-step creative tasks consistently, every single time.
And the way these custom production workflows are created and saved for users is just brilliant. It's a four-step journey. First, Higgsfield's own in-house creative team tests every new model on actual real-world production tasks. If a workflow works perfectly, step 2 is their engineers encoding it into a standard skill for everyone. But steps 3 and 4, this is the magic. The AI actively watches how you work. When it notices you running the same specific workflow over and over, it captures that exact pattern and saves it as a personalized custom skill entirely for you.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material. Higgsfield expertise is the floor. Your personal skill library is the ceiling. You start off with these top-tier professional playbooks built by world-class engineers. So literally, your absolute worst output is still professional grade. But as the system watches you and learns your habits, it builds your own unique style right on top of that foundation. Your floor and your ceiling just constantly rise together.
Which brings us to Section 4, orchestrating models for efficiency. Let's look at the Smart Project Manager.
A massive pain point in this industry is burning through your budget by using overpowered expensive models for simple tasks. Supercomputer solves this with a model orchestrator that operates exactly like a super smart finance department. It routes every single task to the absolute best suited model. Need direct visual analysis? It taps into Gemini. Writing out the content plans? That goes straight to Claude. Character generation, it uses Sol 2.0, and for that final video output, it leverages Higgsfield's proprietary video model. It autonomously handles all this routing, parameter tuning, and retry logic behind the scenes.
And what does that smart routing actually mean for a business? By stopping you from wasting heavy-duty models on basic, trivial steps, this orchestrator achieves a mind-blowing 15 times reduction in operational costs for the exact same workload. That is a 15x cost reduction just by letting the AI intelligently manage the tool selection. The boost to your marketing efficiency is just off the charts.
Finally, Section 5, the all-in-one marketing department. This is where end-to-end content production comes together.
Okay, picture this as an actual functioning marketing pipeline. Imagine handing this agent just one single URL and one simple instruction. Study my brand and create viral content. That's it. From that one prompt, it launches parallel social media research. It writes 100 completely unique video briefs and scripts based on trending hooks. It locks in AI-generated characters using that Sol model, and then it just spits out 100 user-generated content videos that are totally ready to publish. And you didn't have to write a single prompt to manage those downstream steps. Complete autonomy. Now, you might be thinking, sure, but what about long-form content? Historically, long-form video is the absolute hardest problem in AI because keeping characters and environments consistent across multiple shots usually just falls apart. Well, Supercomputer solves this notorious issue using a reference layer called Higgsfield elements. It pins your characters, environments, props, and brand assets as reusable reference layers across every single shot. They even use a specific model called Solidity that perfectly holds facial likeness. So yes, you can actually generate cinematic long-form commercials that visually hold together the entire time. But wait, it is not just an advanced video generator. Get this, it researched, built, and deployed an entire website for a beer brand. Normally, you'd have to export assets from one tool and drag them into a separate website builder, right? Not here. The agent researched top competitor sites, generated the specific product images, created the hero video sequences, assembled the site natively, and then deployed it. And the absolute wildest part? In the source example, this whole workflow was kicked off from a smartphone using a Telegram connector while the guy was on his way to work. Because it has over 27 native connectors, like Gmail, Slack, and Notion, it just seamlessly slides into wherever you are already working.
Which perfectly brings us to this realization. Supercomputer isn't a tool. It's an entire marketing department running on one chat. We really aren't talking about simple software utilities anymore. As the explainer highlights, we are looking at the deployment of entire automated departments. They can research, reason, generate visuals, and deploy, all seamlessly working together at a tiny fraction of the traditional cost.
So, I want to leave you with a pretty massive question to chew on. If a single, unified AI platform can now autonomously research, plan, generate, and deploy an entire marketing department's workload end-to-end just from a single chat interface, what industry is it going to disrupt next? Really think about the implications of that for your own daily workflows. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I highly encourage you to take a step back and reflect on how these multimodal, skill-based agents are truly about to reshape the way every single one of us works.